So good morning, good afternoon, evening to everyone tuning in. Welcome to the Bitcoin Cash Hangout. I'm sure everyone's seen we have an amazing lineup tonight. We've quite a lot to cover in just 1.5 hours. Special guests today include Bitcoin Jason, Emergent Reasons, an imaginary username. We have Mark Falzon, Jeremy from the Bitcoin Cash podcast. We've already heard there. Roger Ver is online with us. Ryan Giffen should be popping in. And last but not least, as Roger's already mentioned, the one-man adopting machine himself, Sunny Gahani.
I'm here. Cheers, everyone.
Hey, Sunny. Lovely to hear from you.
Same here. I'll wait for a lot more people to join. I have so much to say about so many things,
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear about this. Your Twitter has been on fire. I'm very excited every time when I hear from you. I think, wow, what's Sunny up to now? And it's always something that's blowing my mind away. So yes, definitely wait until some more people are there. Is Jason here?
Don't see him yet. Mic check.
Hello.
Can hear you loud and clear, Emergent.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I love with Sunny. It's like you never know what you're going to see, and you don't know what country it's going to come from, but it's always going to be something crazy going on.
But that's the plan, right? We need adoption in every single field. Restaurants, hospitals, travel agencies. And now the latest, my target is some vada pav guys. It's actually the national dish of my state. And it's 10 rupees the cost. It's hardly like maybe 2-3 cents. But I actually convinced the biggest chain today. And that's really the hot news. Because somebody on Twitter or Reddit yesterday said, the day he'll eat vada pav with BCH, then he knows. And I was working on that today. And we already have a few. So it's nice, actually,
What's the name of it again? Can you say the name?
Okay, so it's vada pav. It's basically potato balls fried with and then with a bread. And it's like a street specialty. And it's
Awesome.
like every guy from poor to rich loves to eat it. And you go everywhere. It's like if you go to Trinidad, they have doubles. I mean, I don't know if Italy is pizza, but it's like everywhere. So everywhere in Maharashtra, Bombay, Pune, it's like the national specialty. Delicacy.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
And it's afforded by everybody. It's because it's like 10 rupees. It's basically $1 you can buy 5 or 10, depends on where you eat. The most expensive restaurant might be $1 for the whole thing. But that's the best thing that is there. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That is really great.
Bro, one more thing happened yesterday. One guy on Reddit said he's going to St. Martin today. And he really wants to see the adoption himself. And then I actually put up my WhatsApp number. And then he texted me. So I asked him the first thing. Tell me something. Did you buy your air tickets using BCH? And he said, no, I paid fiat and credit card with my air tickets. I said, that's not a complete trip. And guess what happened, actually? They canceled his tickets because his credit card did not go through. And he texted me that he wants to buy his ticket with BCH. So I'm from yesterday posting a couple of travel agencies, especially KLM authorized ones, so he can actually fly to KLM. So he's actually booking his tickets with BCH.
That's fantastic.
Not too happy for him, because he couldn't fly. He had made all the plans and all the bookings. And I was also actually happy because we would like to hear something from the real tourist or a real person who's going and wants to spend only with BCH in the islands, except the people that are adopting. So that would have been nice to have good, bad, or it's going to be only good, but real genuine reviews. And he couldn't fly.
So, Sunny, I'm waiting to get a time I can take a week's vacation, but I have in the works for this year. I'm going to be quite literally leaving my wallet at home. I'm taking a trip to St. Kitts and St. Martin, and I'm going to not take my wallet. I'll just take one card in my backpack just in case, but otherwise I'm going to be spending only Bitcoin Cash from the flight, hotel, food, any kind of entertainment, and that's going to be my week. So I'm really excited for that.
Yes, and by the time you come, you'll have ATMs all over St. Martin and St. Kitts. So, for instance, you might want to go to some store. Actually, it doesn't exist that you cannot buy something with BCH, but you'll have ATMs there.
Yep. But I guess this is the goal, right? To be able to go almost everywhere with just Bitcoin Cash without being able to use fiat. It'll be quite interesting to see how far you can go there.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that goal has pretty much been reached in St. Kitts, actually. I don't think it's an exaggeration, and I'd love Sunny's feedback too, but I think there are more places that accept Bitcoin Cash now than don't. And that's pretty darn amazing.
Yes, I agree. I'm in St. Martin and St. Kitts actually. And the best part is these travel agencies that I posted yesterday and today. One is in India and one in St. Kitts. I mean St. Martin, sorry. But they actually, you don't need to be living there in India or St. Martin because you can just send them money by address, WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever means, and get your tickets booked. And one of them is my family member too. So it's both are reliable. Roger, in one I just posted, you actually there with me in St. Martin when we onboarded them. K Travels.
Yeah, I remember and I saw that, and it's amazing. Like most of these people are using it as money. And I saw something, I don't know, Michael Saylor recently was saying like, don't spend your Bitcoin or some nonsense like that. And like the entire point, it's Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Cash means that you use it as money. It's not something you just hold and never actually do anything with. So it's really wonderful to see that in action here in St. Kitts and St. Martin. And someday maybe I'll go to India with you as well, Sonny. But people are using it as cash around here.
Do you guys have a real estate firms or any people that accept Bitcoin Cash for real estate in St. Martin?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know about St. Martin, but in St. Kitts, I've actually bought quite a bit of real estate using Bitcoin Cash as well. And you won't have any problem on that front in St. Kitts.
Oh, interesting. All right. I'm going to have to look into that because I've been looking to acquire a place or two on one of the islands. So I'm going to be looking into that. Thanks.
I've actually listed them. So my wife actually owns a spa, and we actually paid the lease rent from last month in BCH. So even in that one, Roger, you were there with the meeting with Elizabeth and Danny Sheris, like people from Canada.
Yeah, and you can pay rent. Like tons of landlords around here will take Bitcoin Cash for rent as well. And if anybody's interested in becoming a citizen of St. Kitts, you can do that for Bitcoin Cash. If you visit passportsforcrypto.com, Bitcoin Cash is the preferred crypto, but we'll take anything of value. And you'll notice we have the Bitcoin Cash logo right on the front page there of passportsforcrypto.com.
I love it. All the adoption there, and then all the merchants accepting it, all the services accepting it, and then companies like ours, General Protocols, and I think Bitcoin.com and others who pay in crypto as well. All that whole economic loop gets closed, and then you start to have small economies that are just operating on peer-to-peer electronic cash.
Yeah, it's just kind of normal at this point in St. Kitts. Like it's not out of the ordinary for people to be using Bitcoin Cash. It's really fun to see that actually have happened now. So, and from here, it's going to spread to the rest of the world. Thanks to Sonny mainly too.
Passportsforcrypto.com. This is fantastic. I hadn't actually seen this before. I had seen the St. Kitts stuff, but okay, I'm going to get this out there on Twitter. I hadn't seen this.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm the main guy behind this website, and I partnered with another local agent that'll process everything who loves Bitcoin Cash as well. But I haven't really started promoting the website heavily. We just put it online maybe a month ago. But everything can be done in Bitcoin Cash here, so including citizenship.
Hey, Roger, I thought I saw you in like a year or two ago in a video with some agent that helped people get citizenships, and they also accepted Bitcoin Cash. Is this a continuation of that, or is this a separate venture?
No, there. Believe it or not, there's multiple competing processors or competing companies that help with citizenship here. All of them will take Bitcoin Cash. So take your pick. Use whoever you'd like for that.
I sold 2 passports this month, Roger, with only Bitcoin Cash, by the way. One for one and two
Oh, wow.
Kids.
Actually, yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? Let's send our business Sonny's way. So Sonny is also...
No, I'm just telling you, I already did business. So after I met Roger, it was just not about BCH. I'm very happy I met Roger because it's not about just BCH or crypto. It's also about I have a company and other companies. I'm actually paying my liquor supplier with BCH in Holland. I'm selling passports with BCH, and we're paying rents with BCH. And a couple of times I'm actually surprised. We don't even talk dollars or rupees anymore. And the fun part is, I don't know if Aaron is listening to me or he's there, but we were ordering the vending machines. So he has a module and it's coming to St. Kitts. So we're going to put a condom vending machine in one of the Buddha bars and a beverage and a snack vending machine because the St. Kitts airport sometimes has early morning flights. And all the stores are closed. And people want the basics like a beer. There is common, water and chocolate and something. And they can actually just scan it. And it only works with BCH. So if they really next time want to go, they will have to just make sure they have a wallet. And they can just use the vending machine using BCH.
And I'm not sure what his Twitter ID is, but he just direct messaged me. John here in St. Kitts asked to be able to speak a little bit. He's one of the hotel owners here in St. Kitts that's using Bitcoin Cash for everything. And there's so many people in the group. I'm not sure what his Twitter handle is, but he says he requested to be a speaker here. It'd be great. He doesn't talk much publicly, so it'll be great to have him actually do that. And he owns one of the bigger hotels here in St. Kitts, and he's using Bitcoin Cash all over the place. He's just been interested. He's the one who introduced me to Sonny, so I owe him a big thanks for that as well. So. if we can find him, I'd love to get him up here.
I'm also trying to get Bitcoin Jason, or Jason Boss is trying to get in. He says he's in the Hangout, but I'm not seeing him in there. CL or Sherry, am I being blind? Or
No, he told me he's in. I don't see him either. I've been looking for him this entire time.
I'm wondering if there's a fake Bitcoin Cash Hangout spaces maybe that's been created. But that's thrown me slightly. Okay.
There's the button you can talk.
See, Mark. So,
Roger, is John who owns the Royal St. Kitts?
Yeah, that's him. I see him there. He's a speaker. John, you don't do much social media. Thank you for making some time for this one, too. We can't hear you, though, John, so maybe you have to do something else special. Well, John figures that out. I can introduce him a little bit. Or Ryan actually knows him as well. Ryan, go for it.
Yeah, I did get to meet him, and I encourage everyone to go visit the Royal St. Kitts. That's where actually I had the pleasure, after I saw everything that Sonny and Roger and Mark were doing out there, I went out to visit. And beautiful hotel, great gym, great amenities, good restaurant inside. And paid for that entire trip. Literally, Alex, you were saying you wanted to go with just your BCH. Well, you can do that. After I saw everything they were doing out there, I took the trip and can vouch, and it really inspired me to see what they were doing to be so successful, and bring that over to Florida, which I want to share more about. And I was actually just finishing up an onboarding that I'll share with everyone as more people get in, and pretty exciting stuff down here in South Florida.
Yes, I'm really, really excited to hear about that. Seeing your Twitter, your tweets, made me really think, hey, I guess this is then the exclusive for everyone tonight. So for everyone out there, Brian Giffen, he ran a successful flip starter. Was that 2 months ago, Brian?
About that. To get the goal was to get over 100 businesses onto the BCH network down here, and run some marketing campaign around it as well. And so far, we're about, I think, 30 to 40% there for the onboardings, and certainly, I want to overshoot that number too. And it looks like that should be no problem with all the good feedback I've had.
Wow, that's really great to hear. That's fantastic in such a short time. And you were in Chicago, right, the other day with the National Association show?
Yeah. So I operate a business that sells products to the hospitality industry. That's what really inspired me after my trip out to St. Kitts. I saw that Sonny was in a B2B business, and it made it very easier, I should say, to onboard merchants. And I was like, well, what if I just ask all my other clients if they would accept BCH too? And so I ran that flip starter, and then my business takes me everywhere. I had a trade show there, but I was there for my business, but I also wanted to speak to some of the bigger point of sale integrators. There's a company here in the United States called Toast. Of course, there's Square, a lot of other POS systems, and they all have partner programs, and they want to get involved. They have open APIs to help build and integrate more, which if anyone's useful at that, I have spoke to some developers. I am speaking to some of their partner programs to help further integration for some businesses that really want to have it involved in their single POS. But of course, the Bitcoin Cash Register works perfectly, and that's what we mainly use. But further integrations would only speed up the adoption.
Yeah, great. And I see on your Twitter right now, you've got you're invited to the Palm Beach Crypto and NFT conference next week on the 11th of June. What's happening there?
I'll be speaking on June 11th. If anyone is in South Florida or wants tickets, they gave me some tickets to give out. I've been to one of the events. They usually get a couple hundred people out there. So I really want to highlight what I've been doing, get more people educated on map.bitcoin.com, where they can actually use their currency, use cryptocurrency in local business and local commerce. A lot of times when you talk to someone about crypto and you give them some, the first question is, well, what can I do with it, right?
Yeah.
So the map is very useful for that. Purse.io is always great for that. And I'll just get an opportunity, and I'm working to do more of that, get more involved in the community. I also host, I'll announce here too, I host an annual golf charity event, which Roger was kind enough to speak at my event last year.
Yeah, so this was great.
I'll be announcing the event this year, and actually, no one here probably knows this, but Rolando Bryson of St. Martin's going to fly in and be our guest speaker this year. So he'll speak to my history about being the first member of office, elected official to take his full salary in crypto and Bitcoin Cash, and the reasons for that. They kind of continue normalizing the conversation within just the general public, that this is a currency, this is an option for them, and look how widespread it's becoming, and talk about all the adoption in the Caribbean, and kind of really try to push for the event going on in November, and try to help more people get fired up to go out there.
I love how within crypto, it's so amazing that Bitcoin Cash is one of the very few that has an answer to, okay, so what do I do with this, right? Oh, well, you use it. You use it as cash. You do whatever you want to do with it. I love how that's quite unique to Bitcoin Cash and a few others.
And the best part is, since you mentioned MP Bryson, he has a group now in Twitter, Satoshi's Caribbean, and he has the former Minister of Finance.
I think it'll go on for about.
And he actually had
usually go on for like 45 to an hour. Just started, right? I think we're good.
Hey, John, we can finally hear you now.
Just keep talking.
I think your microphone's not muted and you're having a conversation inside the car. Maybe he doesn't realize that.
Yeah.
He's texting me. He's driving at the moment, too. He doesn't realize that we're listening into his private conversations as he drives.
I'll mute his mic so that... Oh, he's gone now. He'll probably be back.
Okay, great stuff. Thanks, Jerry.
Hey, Mark, out of curiosity, when can merchants, if this is going to be a thing, when can merchants start, going through whatever application process or whatever it is so that they can have like their own little like booth at the Bitcoin Cash conference?
It's going to be a little bit before we get to that. I want to make sure that we have the spaces locked down and contracts in place. But I'm not sure the exact date yet. But one of the things we'll talk about today is some of the updates to the coming conference.
Great.
Yes.
I have one merchant who I finally got the new products. Onboard a merchant a little while ago. Weedcastle.com. They sell lamps that are cut out of acrylic. They look awesome. They have over 900 lamps. They just started accepting Bitcoin Cash. It's the only cryptocurrency that they take. And they created 2 really cool Bitcoin Cash lamps, which I have both of them now. I just posted on my Twitter yesterday because they just arrived. They look incredible. And this guy would love to be able to come down and show off his product at the booth. And the lamps are cheap, like $24.
And Mark, my company would love to sponsor as well. I don't know if anyone saw, we actually went out to eat at a very good restaurant in Nevis called Indian Summer. And I spoke to the owner there and just said, hey, I own an equipment dealership. I sell like refrigerators to restaurants. And we actually connected after that. And he bought 2 coolers from me in Bitcoin Cash. It was much easier than using a bank wire. And I shipped him out more products to the islands and would love to sponsor and be a part of that. And I think for international business, it makes so much more sense than riding rails with bank wires and international transfers and currency swaps, all that. It's a big thing for the my area in the state of Florida to do more business with the islands that way. So we'd love to sponsor, Mark.
Just send a contact, Ryan, and I will post it. Technically, we know every single restaurant or other business personally in St. Martin, St. Kitts that actually will need refrigeration from you. And believe me, everybody ships from Florida because of the freight forward and the easiness. You ship on a Friday, you get it on a Monday. It's basically like getting from your house, It's faster than getting from anywhere. And the guy's a very good friend of mine, Indian Summer. He just opened a place, 2 places actually, in St. Kitts. I was just talking to them, and we just spoke to Roger as well. So yes, it's really nice that you visited there.
Absolutely, yeah, Sonny. We'll connect after the call, and I'll share a little bit more information and just how we can. Yeah, what's the freight forwarder you use?
Okay, I use King Ocean, but I don't want to be on particular. But there are many, many, many companies. So there's Tropical, there's Caribbean, there are 25. I don't know who's listening, but there's like 25, 30 of them. And it's just easier when you use one for my company because we have like 20 businesses, so everything goes on one name. But irrespective of what freight forwarder, you will get tons of business because unlike other countries like India, where if my freezer, something's wrong, I have guy coming, changing the compressor, putting gas. St. Martin and St. Kitts, you actually have to buy a new one because it's cheaper to buy a new fridge or refrigerator than to get the part and wait for it, etc., etc. So, yes, you will actually do very well. Just send the flyer, post them, and I think it's going to be nice.
I think this is a great thing to do. I think I'd love to get Mark on the stage and talk about this a little bit. And what I really think is that everyone should be coordinating as much as possible. Sunny obviously is a resident of St. Kitts and Nevis and has a lot of information there and has been involved very, very tightly. And I really would love to see everyone here who's excited about this cooperating together to make this an absolute sensation. So on that note, if it's possible, Mark, I see Mark here, Mark Falzon. If people out there don't know, Mark describes himself. He's a YouTuber. He's a crypto personality. He's certainly, from what I've seen, a Bitcoin Cash proponent, and he is responsible for organizing the BCH convention in St. Martin's. It looks like so in November, although as we've seen, this date now has maybe changed. So, Mark, how are you, dude?
Hey, it's great to see everyone, and hi everyone here. The conference is shaping up. It looks like it's going to be in November. I'm going to have the exact date posted shortly. I just wanted to confirm with a few people behind the scenes because, as you guys know, we had a previous date. We're moving it a bit, but it should be around the same time. Once we get everything finalized, we should be able to open the doors for people to book their events. book their rooms at the conference, get their tickets. And just this conversation between Sunny and Ryan, I think, really illustrates the value of these conferences, which I never thought they were particularly interesting until I attended some crypto conferences and saw just what can happen. So there's so many connections and opportunities and things that really can only happen face to face. These Twitter spaces and these conversations online are wonderful, but they just don't take the place of, obviously, person-to-person interaction. So,
absolutely,
I think that's really the value of this conference and why it's just so important that we have one in the Bitcoin Cash community. So I kind of figured, rather than wait for someone to put it on, or I would just press the go button. So,
yeah, and that's fantastic. I think everyone's so happy. A lot of people talk the talk, but very few people actually just do the thing that's required. And so thank you from me, and I guess a lot of it, maybe everyone, I'm hoping. Mark, what interests me about you describe yourself as a crypto personality, but you are very active in the Bitcoin Cash community. As you say here, you saw that the Bitcoin Cash community could really benefit from a convention. So what made you do this, and why are you so attracted to Bitcoin Cash?
Mark, 1 minute, I'm interrupting Mark. Mark is actually a great onboarder as well. He doesn't say it, but he onboarded many businesses in St. Martin, the Jewish community, Instant Kids, the coffee shop, the taxi drivers. Mark did a lot of onboarding as well. He assisted a lot. So
Sonny, you're telling me that you didn't do this all on your own?
No. Mark was there.
Okay, we need to change this.
Mark helped me a lot. We went together to a lot of places. So Mark did onboard a lot on his own as well, to be honest. So I'm not going to take all the credit.
Well, Sonny is the second coming of the Bitcoin Cash Jesus, so there's no dispute there. I'm happy to be a disciple under him. But with all that said, I'll say that, this conference I'm really excited about because there's a lot of great things. How can I put this? I partnered with a lot of great people to make sure that the conference functions, right? So I've never held a conference myself, but we're going to be partnering with Coin Riot, that's put on Bitcoin Cash conferences in the past. And also Joanne, who's been in some of my videos. She has held multiple conferences. She's an architect, and she's held 2 architectural conferences so far. So, there's a lot of planning and thought and effort that's going into this, and a lot of talented people. So, and of course, all the speakers and everyone who's coming is just fantastic. But to answer your first question about why I'm interested in doing Bitcoin Cash, specifically is I'm agnostic. I don't care what the crypto is. I really don't. I just want the crypto that works the best. Right now, in my opinion, there's no dispute. It is Bitcoin Cash. And I don't really see that changing. It could change. And if it does, I'll go over to whatever works better. But I really don't think there's anything that comes close to the utility, the usability of Bitcoin Cash as money for the world. And every day that goes by, it's so funny because I see people on Twitter put up these posts about, showing the price chart and all these things. And I just think about how I could care less what the price is. What I care about is the function, the utility of it. If you cared about the price of Bitcoin in 2009, when Roger got involved, you would have missed everything. It was the utility. It was the function of the coin as a better medium of exchange than what existed in that period of time, that made Bitcoin at that period of time a very smart investment, because you could foresee what the future held because it worked so well in its utility. And right now, in this moment of time, if you applied the same honesty and reflection that you would have applied in Bitcoin in 2009, 2010, then in this moment, you would know that Bitcoin Cash is the coin. So I don't know what it's going to be in 10 years or 20 or 50. And, I like to say that I'm open-minded, and I'll re-examine things as they go. But right now, it's Bitcoin Cash. So my goal is to get as many people using this currency as possible, using the skills that I have. Everyone has different skills, and it's Bitcoin Cash. So I feel like putting a conference together to really encourage that is a useful goal to aim for.
Mark, I can also say, Mark, regarding utility, for those of us who are old enough, you go back to the .com bubble and you look at all the speculation going on. It was maybe fun for a little bit, but the ones that actually had utility, right? Like if you had bet big on Amazon at that time,
people would have laughed at you
quite well today. So it's not the utility is there, and it also means when it comes to a money network that is going to be the value of it. So if anybody thinks long term about crypto and where it's going and what's going to be valuable, Bitcoin Cash is a ridiculously obvious choice.
Absolutely. And I'm a big believer that price follows utility, but also that markets can be irrational on the short term. For me personally, I see the price today, and I see this as an amazing opportunity to be involved in something. People say price isn't important, but I think at the current price it is today relative to other cryptos. When you think of the utility of Bitcoin Cash, it's good value. Definitely.
I see John finally joined us again. For those that don't know, his family's hotel was the first, I think, hotel in St. Kitts, and is still one of the biggest hotels in the country and big employer. And he's just been amazing on helping promote Bitcoin Cash. And I see maybe the third time's going to be the charm. He's already a speaker here. Maybe if he can unmute his mic, and I'd love for all of us to hear from John directly, all of his own take on the Bitcoin Cash adoption happening here in St. Kitts.
Hi, John.
Hey guys, so sorry about that. Driving the southeast peninsula of the island doesn't have the best reception, so I didn't think I was connected. If you heard anything, I apologize. Yeah, I would love to just kind of start with, what got me so interested. I was always kind of keeping my eye on crypto, but at the end of the day, the use case for St. Kitts, we have a lot of challenges here that you don't face in the US, right? I grew up in Canada. Sending $100 to a friend via Venmo or any other trans is not an issue, but sending a wire transfer to St. Kitts for the purchase of a condominium unit, for example, will take 2 to 3 days before it's received, going through a US corresponding bank. Before it hits the local bank, they will then do a due diligence, out of money laundering prevention, which can take anywhere from 3 to 5 days to verify the sender and receiver, where you have to provide supporting documents for any size transaction, not just a large transaction. So it's a real nightmare. So doing my first BCH deal was so quick and easy that it was just eye-opening, and we kind of dove headfirst, full bore into it, and I couldn't be happier. Sonny and Roger have done an amazing job with the adoption on island. Literally, I can spend my Bitcoin Cash everywhere. I don't carry my wallet most of the time. It's just be nice to get people aware of it. I don't think a lot of people are aware of the adoption that's happening down here, and all the headway that you've had, Roger, with the government as well and everywhere else.
Yeah, and this is a great reminder for everyone that's interested in Bitcoin Cash, wants to help adoption. There is so many videos and pictures of the adoption going on Mark Larson's Twitter, on Sonny's. We've got YouTube channels with Bitcoin Jason, who's apparently with us, but I can't see him. Make sure you retweet those bits of information. Make the noise there. Make it really clear what's happening in St. Kitts and Nevis, what's happening in St. Martin, what's happening in Townsville, because a lot of people aren't aware of this and think that crypto is just a speculative tool and doesn't have a real use case.
And if I could, I'll give this a shout out now. Now in South Florida, there will be 10 gas stations locally where you can fill up in Bitcoin Cash. I'm out onboarding actually today.
That's great.
So it's actually a combination of gas stations and grocery stores, but there's a chain even further. But we're starting with a pilot of 10 stores, and this can go well. There's possibly hundreds of this family that own these gas stations. So on the map, starting Monday, Tuesday, everything should be up there. You'll see where you can go and spend your Bitcoin Cash. But like the basic utility of gasoline, you'll be able to fill up all around Palm Beach County, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and to the North Miami area.
That's amazing news,
Ryan. Yeah, and if I can ask actually everybody on here, we have more than 100 people on the Hangout here right now. When we're done with this, for $10, you can onboard 10 people to Bitcoin Cash very easily. Like I think most of us have used the shareable link feature in the Bitcoin.com wallet. Send $1 to 10 of your friends that don't have any crypto yet, right? So send them each $1 of Bitcoin Cash and explain to them, hey, here's how easy it is. So just use that shareable link. And if all of us in this call send $1 to 10 of our friends, it costs us each $10, but we'll have 10 new people. That's over 1,000 new people using Bitcoin Cash just from us doing that, just like that. Like so easy. So let's do that. And great work, Ryan, with the gas stations and everything else there.
Yeah,
really looking forward to meeting you in person someday.
Yeah, and Roger, I got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym in Boca onboarding Bitcoin Cash too. So if you do make the trip to Florida, you can get your gas here, get your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I got a grocery store over there for you and restaurants. You're all set up, Roger.
I might have to move to Florida. It sounds so good.
Yeah.
Brian, I got to ask, is that the gentleman that we met?
Yes. So,
wow, that's amazing. Okay, that's great.
I'm kind of a disciple of Mark. Mark said he's a disciple of Sonny. So Mark was very helpful on educating me on what they were doing. Kids flew out to Florida to help me. And actually, the gentleman's name's Imad. Their family has owns a lot of gas stations down here. And he's all about the cause. He wants to get more involved in the community as well. So he's been following my work, and he wants me to wants to be a disciple of me. And this is just how it goes, how the network effect, will continue to spread from all these different pockets of the world. And this is how we garner our market share. So you'll see there's Chevrons and Mobil's gas stations that'll be onboarded. So some big names, some big corporations now that you can buy the basic necessity of gasoline to power the economy in Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah, if
That is
the owners
amazing.
are willing, Ryan, let's do some official press releases saying that, hey, the Chevrons in South Florida or whatever area are taking Bitcoin Cash. And because I think that's Bitcoin Cash's biggest problem in the world is everybody knows the Bitcoin name, but they expect it, like new people expect it to work the way Bitcoin Cash does. And that's why all the adoption is happening on Bitcoin Cash. All the speculation is just happening on BTC, but it's because they expect it to work the way Bitcoin Cash actually does. So we need to really help get the word out about that. But great work, Ryan.
Absolutely, and this is what I think is the point. That there's some marketing missing. I was looking at Sunny's latest videos from the Mumbai conference, and this looks really nice, really slick. And if we could just pitch the sort of videography and also Mark has obviously does some great stuff there with videos and pictures. If we could tie this with some great PR and marketing to really make sure that people know what's available out there, I think this would help Bitcoin Cash hugely in the future.
Well, we have some videos coming
adoption,
as well.
right?
I didn't hear that.
Sunny, I'm sorry.
Sunny?
Sorry, I'll go.
No, I'm waiting for him. I'll speak later.
There's so much grassroots adoption, and I want to reiterate what Roger said, which is, you can use the Bitcoin.com wallet to send BCH to somebody very easily with the link that's built into the wallet. And that kind of grassroots is also amazing, right? Because people finally get it when they receive it, and they say, one of my family members said to me the other day, like, wait, so, okay, I have Bitcoin Cash now, and I can just spend it like money? It's like, yes, that's exactly right. You can just spend it like money. And once people receive it and they send it, they finally get it. They're like, oh, okay, it's just money. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So everyone that's wondering, this is Emergent Reasons Are Speaking, or John Neary, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Neary, President of General Protocols, an invited guest to talk today, also with imaginary username. It'd be really interesting to hear from you, actually, John. So both of these guests were invited to talk about AnyHedge. I'm sure some people have heard about this. There's another side of Bitcoin Cash. What I feel is there's many interesting products out there in development or have already been finished that are unknown or less used. So it'd be lovely if we could hear about this. Just a little bit of background information from John. So, and imagine a username. They've been involved in BCH Node and Cash Accounts and Cash Shuffle, even Flipstarter, which Mark Falzon and Ryan Giffen both successfully got their Bitcoin Cash funding by this, and AnyHedge. So yeah, guys, thanks for joining. What time is it with you now, John?
Oh, it's 3:30 a.m. Lovely time for vampires. This is when we operate. It's all good.
Thank you for being here. It's really awesome. I appreciate it's very early or very late, depending on how you look at it. But it's really lovely. So yeah, maybe you could just talk a little bit about General Protocols. I know very little. It was founded in 2019. It'd be great to hear, how was it founded? Why was it founded? What was like the mission when you came together?
Before you say something, Emergent Reasons, can I just say to the room, I know that there are a lot of people wanting to come up. We're not being rude. We've just run out of space. So if you can just wait and we'll recycle people in a bit, just so people who are asking for the mic know that they'll have their turn, but it's just a matter of time. Please go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So I'll try to keep it short. We started General Protocols back, a little small bit of backstory. If Bitcoin BTC had continued on its original trajectory of adoption and building and so forth, I think General Protocols would have been founded probably 5-6 years ago. But a lot of mess happened with BTC and adoption, building, all these things got delayed for quite a long time. But soon after the Bitcoin Cash upgrade, when we got back on track onto the actual peer-to-peer cash, money for the world, building a global economy on an alternate money that isn't based on the global fiat standard. Once all that got back on track, that's when a handful of peer-to-peer cash advocates, we got together and we're like, well, it's time to start profiting and building business, right? So we built General Protocols, and we said, well, what's something that needs to be done? What's a particular thing that needs to be done that's valuable? And that was stability, right? Purchasing power stability, because while everything is growing, there's a lot of instability in prices and volatility. So that was the origin of any hedge. Was
and if I can ask you to
being able to
explain
use
what's
money
possible, because a
and have
lot of
stability.
people on call won't realize that. In fact, I was explaining any hedge to John and Sunny the other day too. They're like, "You can do that." So please spend a minute and explain to everybody like how amazing of a useful tool this is for the world.
All right, sure, absolutely. So so we realized that that volatility is a problem for everybody. It's a problem that everybody faces, and a lot of new adopters struggle with. So any hedge is specifically aimed at that, and it's just a smart contract built on Bitcoin Cash, and the smart contract allows speculators and people like merchants or businesses who don't want that kind of price volatility to trade that volatility. And so effectively what it means is a business can accept $100 for a purchase in terms of Bitcoin Cash. So they receive the Bitcoin Cash, and rather than just holding it and letting the price go up and down, and they might be worried about it, they can put it into this smart contract, and at the end of the smart contract, they get out $100 of Bitcoin Cash. And they don't have to worry about that stability. So it's just a smart contract that allows people to get stability. They don't have to worry about price going up or down. And some people want that, right? Businesses want that, or people like General Protocols who maybe want some kind of stability for the purchasing power. But other people, speculators, which there are a lot of, they want that volatility. They want to be able to bet long on BCH, and they understand that the price is going to go up, so they want to accept that volatility.
So if I can summarize that for you, though, that means you can accept Bitcoin Cash for payments. If you get $100 worth of Bitcoin Cash, no matter what the price of Bitcoin Cash does, if it goes up or down, it doesn't matter. When you're ready to go and spend your Bitcoin Cash, you can get back $100 worth of Bitcoin Cash, but you're not trading into a stable coin. You're not giving up custody of your funds. You're not doing anything. It's like other than a smart contract on the actual Bitcoin Cash blockchain that allows you to have the same fiat value worth of Bitcoin Cash at a future date that you have today. So like, I'm sure all of us would have liked to have done that today compared to like a month ago.
And Roger, you made an interesting point there. So instead of swapping it out to a stable coin, and I would really like to hear this, and also for people that are unaware of any hedge, what benefit does it have in using any hedge in locking in that value as opposed to swapping out for your Tether or Luna dollar?
Well, yeah, let's leave Luna by the side because that has so many downsides. That's kind of a
no. I think that's a perfect example, though. Everybody thought Luna's UST was safe and they were in a stable coin and they're not going to lose their value, and then they did. Whereas I think that this smart contract on Bitcoin Cash to maintain your value, I think that that's probably significantly certainly safer than UST turned out to be, and potentially safer than these other stable coins out there. Any thoughts on that front, please?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was all built into what we were looking for when we made it was to solve that. Let me ask a imaginary username to speak to that. What are the benefits compared to stablecoins? Because there's a lot.
So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So it is important to note that any hedge is not a be-all end-all solution. It's not like, okay, I throw in any hedge and then it's completely superior to stablecoins in all aspects. It is. Stablecoins has a big advantage in that it is very easily understandable. But stablecoins, because they maintain a peg as a currency, they have inherent risk in terms of maintaining that peg, and maintaining that peg is a very difficult job. We have just seen, as you guys have all said, a very, very big stable coin that everybody trusted and everybody stood behind just failed to maintain a peg. And that is a thing that is going to happen over and over and over and over again. And furthermore, you have a stable coin that is so. The algorithmic stablecoins can often lose their peg, and I would even say that eventually they will all do that. While the custodial stablecoins have a different set of risk. The custodial stablecoins have a custodian, and you put money in it. You have immense trust in the guys who are issuing the stablecoin, and we have already seen that happen in the past. That USDT can just go out and blacklist your coin, and then you are completely done. There's nothing you can do about it. So any hedge, in any hedge, we can abstract a lot of the complexity, but essentially, you trade some of the easy to understand. Oh, I have USDT. It looks just like USD. We don't have that anymore. You trade that to gain other benefits in that, okay, every contract is on its own. You cannot have this thing where any hedge fails. Any hedge is a whole vast collection of contracts. They don't just all, if the price drops a lot, the long gets liquidated, and then you go find some other contract. There is no such thing as filling a pack. That concept doesn't exist anymore. So it's a very different way to offload your risk. And at General Protocols, we believe that is a good way forward. And you get to hold all your Bitcoin Cash, and you don't need to trade in for some other unknown pieces of risk. So yeah.
Yeah, I really want to reiterate that at the core of it, right? There's no such thing as the peg. There's just a contract that you made with somebody, and you get the stability out of that contract. There's no question about it. At the end of it, you're going to get your value out of it.
So this is a huge thing. I mean, this is something that could really benefit merchants when accepting Bitcoin Cash, for example, in India now, or in St. Kitts and Nevis, and so on. And my question is, how then can people use this? I went onto your website, and so for everyone that's listening, anyhedge.com. You can go here and learn about this. And it says they want to give it a spin, and that it's coming soon. So yeah, how can we use this?
Yeah. So this goes back to that thing that I said about the Bitcoin trajectory that just all got disrupted back in the block size wars and all of that. So we're finally getting back on that, and there's a ton of infrastructure to be built. So that's all coming out right now. General Protocols has been working on that for a very long time, building a ton of infrastructure that's going to support everybody in Bitcoin Cash and everybody who wants to use peer-to-peer electronic cash. And so the first thing that we're going to publish on that will probably be coming out next quarter, called BCH Bull. And that's going to allow people to go ahead and use, make these contracts where you can get stability in your wallet, or get stability for a merchant. Like somebody like BitPay could use this to do stability without having to swap out to fiat or some other types of risk.
Speaking of these sorts of tools, though, like maybe a potential user of it, I see we have the CEO of Go Crypto just joined as well. Dejan is here, and then we also have Minister of Parliament Rolando from St. Martin. I'm going to drop off the speaker list, but continue to listen. But so many amazing people and entrepreneurs in here. So yeah.
But Roger, before you go, I actually have a question for you, because for me, I see an opportunity here, and maybe it's being unreasonable, or is it imaginable to think of AnyHedge being integrated into the Bitcoin.com wallet using CoinFlex Exchange as the liquidity? Is this something that's just nonsense, or is this something that is potentially feasible at some point in the future?
To me, that sounds fantastic. I think it's a better question for the people building the actual tech. So the AnyHedge guys would have to mention that, but also maybe Go Crypto will want to be able to use that sort of thing too, where they can still hold the BCH, but then get back the same dollar value or euro value of the BCH when it's time to go and make a payment. But I would love to be able to see if people accept Bitcoin Cash into their Bitcoin.com wallet, and then optionally they can just lock it to the value of whatever fiat, but without having to convert to a stable coin or something else. And when they're ready to spend, they just unlock it back to BCH, and they have the same fiat value, and they send their BCH, and then they lock it back, the remaining balance in their wallet back to the fiat value. And then people that don't want to be exposed to any of the volatility don't have to be exposed to it. It's all permissionless. It's all, the users are in charge of their money. I would love to see that be built. But I think that's probably quite a bit of engineering to get that done. But I think that would be fantastic to see that be the case.
And last question before you head out. You mentioned a press release. Do you want me just to send you an email, or is there anyone else I should direct what I've been doing to, or what's the best way to get that out there?
Ideally, I'd love you to. There's companies that handle press releases. I'll even pay you the money for it too. They charge something for it, but then there's a good chance you can get syndication all over the world if it's an interesting enough story there. And usually they charge a bit of money for that. But I think this is interesting enough. Like a gas station chain across South Florida is now taking Bitcoin Cash. To me, that's exciting, and I hope the rest of the world will find that to be exciting as well. And I'm not disappearing from the call. I just wanted to make room for people other than myself to speak.
Yeah.
And as Roger steps off, I wanted to double down on the thing that he said, which is, of course, it depends on the engineers to implement whatever in the wallets and so forth. But hidden in that is a really, really interesting point, and that's the permissionless nature, right, of the Bitcoin Cash blockchain, and people being able to spend money without having to ask anybody permission. The censorship resistance is incredible, because what you can do there, once we have AnyHedge set up, and wallets are using it, they don't have to create an account with somebody. They don't have to create an account with PayPal or with their bank or with somebody else. All they have to do is have Bitcoin Cash. And then they know the protocol. That's the reason our company is called General Protocols. They know the protocol, how to work with AnyHedge. Then they can do that. They can just, follow the rules of the AnyHedge protocol, set up a contract, and they don't have to have an account with anybody. There's no need to set up something, to give somebody your email, to give somebody your KYC information, whatever. You just set up these contracts, you get stability, and you're kind of free from a lot of the legacy financial system.
And so how does one go about investing in general protocols? Because this sounds like a great thing.
Send me a tweet. Send me a private message on Twitter. It's a private company still.
Could I just ask a question? Bitcoin Jason here from Australia.
Go ahead, man. Great to hear from you.
Yeah, I figured out I had to go on my mobile phone to join into the conversation. I just want to ask Roger and those that are good with economics. I'm worried about this, like Flex USD and stablecoin type functions, that it would actually have a negative effect on the BCH price, because I just accidentally went on a call that's on at the same time, and they are basically dumping on us, calling us scammers and stuff like that, because the Bitcoin Cash price is low. Not that it worries me, because I live off it, so I'm cost average my spending and earning. But these guys, they're dumping on us, and I'm just curious, would that have effect on price? Is that why Bitcoin Cash price is not performing as well, because people are changing it into Flex USD and that sort of stuff?
No, maybe I can jump into this one. Hello, everybody. It's 9 p.m. over here in Slovenia. I'm just having my kid in a bathtub. So it's let me just give you a quick feedback on this one. When we first met Roger and the whole BCH thing and the whole peer-to-peer idea, the only questions that was asked from our side was, does it work? Can you do it instantly? Can you do it on chain? How does it really work? Can you open a wallet without a KYC? Is it an Oxoil? And the thing, through all these years, the system works. It works. There's a bunch of other chains, and we're really having thousands of transactions, but it simply works. So that's why we're continuously pushing also the adoption of BCH. But when it comes to CoinFlex, listen, guys, let me give you an idea we're working on. And I know I should not say this now, but because Roger is here, I know he's gonna support me. One of the great ideas that we're building right now is a pilot that we're trying to create in multiple countries, where we are trying to create our own scheme. And the scheme would look similar as Visa and MasterCard, but in a way that the exchange would be the issuer of the card. The exchange can be, of course, it has to be custodial at this point, but in this way, we can start slowly eliminating the middlemen in the process of payments, the acquirers, the issuers, the schemes, whatever. And eventually, these schemes that we are now introducing to everybody, how these schemes going to work, where Visa and MasterCard won't be anymore the main players in between, are hooked to the exchange into a stable coin. Because the merchant doesn't want to be exposed, on the risk side, but not because he doesn't want to be, but because of the regulations in many cases, because the accounting and the whole reporting thing, they need to have the amount of money they required, they need to have it in their books. So we're just the CoinFlex and this whole connection, it's being created because we need to showcase how it's going to work in real life through the scheme. And the BCH will be definitely the chain that is going to be used to move the money peer-to-peer. And then the merchant will decide what kind of currency they want to have, what kind of currency they want to stick to. Are they getting rewarded for that or however? But just think about if they're... Now we have CoinFlex, we have Go Crypto, we have BCH. If we can manage to create the scheme together, a showcase that's actually happening right now, I think we're really disrupting the whole payment infrastructure, how it is built today. I know Giga will talk more about it later on in this upcoming weeks, but yeah, I think there's a bright future for the whole community, and I don't even care about the price because in the end, the usability of the whole product and the whole project is going to, define is there real value or not.
For those that are wondering, forgive me for my pronunciation, this is Dejan Rojic. He's the founder and CEO of Go Crypto. which enables crypto payments worldwide. So absolutely fantastic answer there. Thank you very much. And yeah, Jason, does that answer your question?
Not really, because you're still converting it into a fee. It does in a way, because I handle a lot of merchants. That is a prime issue. Like when the customer base is say below 5%, they can sort of handle that. They can wear that. But one of our large players here said, more and more transactions with BCH, he's going to seriously reconsider what he does, because it affects what you say with the books. So yeah, I'm just worried that because what we do here in Australia, we don't convert to any currency. We keep the coins circulating within the community, and we try and encourage that. So if I find a merchant that needs a supplier, say coffee beans, I'll go and hunt down a coffee bean supplier and try and get them onto Bitcoin Cash to try and keep it circulating. And so we have some underwriters here, people with money that would like to buy Bitcoin Cash, and they buy directly from the merchants. That's one way we sort of cheated away from putting it back on the exchange. So yeah,
I can speak to that a little bit, Jason. So for example, with AnyHedge, that's a smart contract on Bitcoin Cash chain that achieves stability of whatever purchasing power. If you want to get your purchasing power in gold or silver or US dollars or Indian rupees or whatever the hell it is you want, you can do that. And what that means is all that value, activity, all of that is happening on the BCH chain, right? So that is activity that's going to increase the value of the chain and the utility of the chain. Right. So that's one of the great benefits of AnyHedge. But then with the stable coins, they're still excellent. And they have their own benefits and drawbacks, right? So FlexUSD is pretty amazing in that you can get into that, and it's very focused on Bitcoin Cash. They reinvest in the Bitcoin Cash ecosystem. So yeah, I'd say at least there's several options that are going to make it useful for merchants, and yeah, anybody who is interested in stability. There's now multiple options for them. It's great.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Go Crypto is not available in Australia, but that hasn't stopped us from here.
We do have to speak later, though, about this. Very important. I don't want to disturb in the whole conversation, but I think we need to have a personal conversation after this space. I would love to do that, and the onboarding will go maybe times 100. If really, I don't know, I'm not tech, I don't know how that smart contracting really works, but if there's a way people get 100 rupees today, and it'll be 100 rupees and not 99 tomorrow, I mean, deal.
All right, we'll do then, Sonny.
Yes, definitely have this conversation. For those who don't know, this is Jason Voss, working in Townsville. Jason is an invited guest today. Really glad you're here, Jason, and you finally figured out how to get Spaces working.
Yes, you got to do it from your cell phone. You can't do it from your laptop.
Because Ryan's there, and Ryan said he has gas stations, a whole chain. So we have gas stations already. I don't know which other countries still have. I have to ask Bitcoin Jason if you have any gas stations accepting, but St. Kitts has already one, Nevis has one, so the Sol, and one of them in Nevis has Sol and Delta both. And the biggest worry is that the margins are so little that they don't even accept credit card. But of course, it's a small island. We know them. We're working out this together. But how is that trick of the trade, Ryan? Explain to me. I'll run that in India. How do we work that out? But of course, if this whatever stability is working where they can do the smart contract. I'm actually working on a very big company that will, I should not even say it, but it's in the works. If that agrees, we'll have 1 million collection centers in India. And they're more than happy.
Sorry, just to confirm. What, 1 million?
1 million, yes, 1 million, because it's electricity, it's gasoline, like gas, the house, what do we call it? The gas for the house, cooking gas, the telephone company, and I was just not able to meet them for personal reasons, but I'm meeting them this week. But if that really works, and we can work out something where the money, if they get 200 rupees or 500 rupees, because the average electricity gas bill see, India has a lot of classes, so you have and like Roger said, BCH is for we all say BCH is for everyone. So the average bill is between $6 to $10 that particular side, and then it goes up to, of course, $1,000 US. But if that assurance can be given, and as a non-tech point of view, then wow, it is just unbelievable. I don't know what is coming next for BCH, and that's without any stable coin transfers, you said.
Sonny, I just wanted to tell. I just wanted to, Sonny. I just wanted to tell you, great job for St. Kitts and Nevis and all the hard work you're doing. I was over there, guys, at St. Kitts, and the great thing is, Sonny and Roger, they set up a huge network of merchants accepting BCH, and they don't even worry about the volatility because they don't have cards; they're unbanked, and it works. Like if you have an option to fly over to Caribbean and just have some fun, and by the way, spend BCH wherever you want and see the real adoption, that's the way to go. So I mean, maybe the next big thing, Sonny, that with the scheme is gonna come is we'll be able to issue a card. So because the distribution of the wallet sometimes is a problem for the user, and now we will issue a card on our own scheme. The scheme will be called whatever, and it will be hooked to the exchange directly, and it's going to work on the network. So you don't even have to have internet connection or whatever to really nail it. So it's good job, Sonny. Good job.
Well, thank you. And you know what? It's everywhere. I think this is a problem that everybody might be facing, or I don't know exactly if everybody's there listening or speaking, but yes, if we can find that where a general merchant, so like for example, we just onboarded one of the biggest hospitals in India. It has more than 50 specialist doctors, 6 stories of everything. And when I was called to onboard them, the owner is my best friend, but being a best friend did not help because he had his auditors, his chartered accountant, and like in a conference on 20 people asking me questions. And I'm like, wow, I need Mark or Roger with me this time. But we managed to get all the answers done and get them onboarded. And this is just the first move. We have schools already. And India is something that is more looking forward to adoption. And if India really starts, there is no limits to it. I mean, billions of
1.4 billion people. And
exactly.
You've got Sonny there. So
how many merchants, man? And it's not just me. If you see the map, people actually just onboarding. The first meetup we did for the merchants, we had to lock it for 200 for budget, for the area, for the location, because if 1,000 people come, then you cannot. We gave a wallet to everybody because when you come in, obligation was download a wallet, get 2 USD, and then it was free drinks, but you have to go and pay 20 rupees. So you have to pay like 10 cents tip every time you want to get a drink or food. You pay a tip to the bartender. So they get to use the merchants actually saw how it works, how efficient it was, and we made it entertaining. So it was really nice. And after that, I have a list of merchants that I cannot cope up with to onboard.
That's important. That's important to meetups because that's exactly what I did down on the Gold Coast. I fought tooth and nail to get a struggling cafe on board, organised a meetup. Thanks to Satoshi Angels for sponsoring me and giving me merch, I was able to have a really good display. 13 people came to my first very own meetup, and they were all buying with Bitcoin Cash. And those that didn't have Bitcoin Cash bought some Bitcoin Cash off me and bought their food with it. And his name was Sonny too, by the way. And he absolutely loved it. And by the end of the meetup, he decided to keep the Bitcoin Cash. So that was a positive experience.
Indians and Chinese are born gamblers, so it's not difficult to convince an Indian merchant. Listen, it's Bitcoin Cash today. It's 200. It might be 180 or 220. They're like, hey, we want to keep it as Bitcoin Cash. We don't even want fiat anymore because they love that gambling part. It's in the blood. So but corporate companies are different. For accounting, if they get 2,000 rupees, how will they define? It's not about less, even if it's 2,200 rupees, for example, even $1 more. How does the accounting define for it? So that's where the whole solutions are being made. But yes, still they're going forward. Still there is multinational companies coming in India. They are actually showing very, very positive signs to accept it. And boom, yes, there are laws. They're saying about crypto, about the capital gains, but they're not even saying it right. So if you explain to the person right, and everything is on paper from the ministry, from the whole finance things, the taxation laws, it's so clear to them. It's just about, it takes time. It's not like a one-man onboarding in the islands. It takes hours, but yes, we did it, and everybody can see it. So now, especially if when somebody just mentioned, please go to the islands to see St. Kitts and St. Martin and the Caribbean, how they are functioning. Please buy your tickets. Don't start buying your tickets with credit card. Buy it with BCH. Start your journey with BCH. We have travel agents, websites, accepting BCH. So when you start your journey, start it with BCH.
Hey, I wanted to mention a tangent to that. So this is all merchants and retail and people, doing commerce and business, and it's amazing. And I just wanted to mention another thing, since you mentioned the hospitals and medicine people using Bitcoin Cash. There's a Sakib Noor and a tweet that I just put out about One Dot Surgery, if you want to go to the website. And they have created a new form of scientific and medical publishing, which uses the traditional model of publishing, but it's all very low cost. It's very global. Anybody can access the material. All you have to have is a tiny amount of Bitcoin Cash to get through the paywall. And then once the paywall is paid down, and it's very cheap, it's like $40, $50, $100 worth of Bitcoin Cash. Once that's all paid down, then the whole world has access to that material, as opposed to the current model, which has everything. It's all locked up behind these very expensive paywalls that are there forever. So yeah, Bitcoin Cash is being used there in medicine for people on the ground. It's also being used for research and scientific publications as well. There's just too many things to talk about.
For Ryan and Mark and you yourself, recently we had an APK update, and I was really tense about how would we actually do it, because sometimes we're giving a cash register app, or the people are actually not downloading it from the Play Store. But yesterday in St. Martin, the team discovered you can just go to the merchant and send a Bluetooth, and the APK just updates by itself in less than seconds. Mark, did you even know about that, Orion? Because you have been giving some instruments too for the cash register app. So later we'll discuss about it. It's amazing. It's one stress-free for the onboarders.
Sunny, what is